Ape 1393 here, and today I'll be showing you the disassembly of a Yugo M57 pistol. Now this pistol is chambered in 7.62 by 25. Here's a 45 auto for size comparison. Now the Yugo M57 is a derivative of the Russian Tokarev pistol. However, there are several differences which I'll be showing you as we disassemble. First, we're going to eject the magazine and make sure that the gun is unloaded. Now the first difference between this and the Russian pistol is that this one holds 9 shots instead of 8 shots. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This particular model was imported by PW Arms of Redmont, Washington, and in order to meet import requirements they had to add this thumb safety. If you have one of these, I would recommend against using the thumb safety. Okay, now to disassemble the pistol. What you want to do is on this side of the gun, there's this little retaining plate. You'll want to hook this, pull back. Now this thing will come off if you pull too hard on it. Now, I find it's easier to cock the hammer, take a little bit of pressure off the slide, and then just from this side, push your slide stop up and out. Now the slide will come right off the frame. Now another difference on the Yugo from the Russian pistol is it has a full-length articulated guide rod. Now to take this out, I find it sometimes easier to push forward on the barrel link. And this will just usually pop out. There we go. Now this is what I mean by when I say it's articulated. There's a little dowel pin holding this in. Now on the Russian-made Tokarev, this is actually a lot more like an original 1911, where you'll have just this short guide rod and then a little bit of a plunger to hold the spring captive. Now, very much like in 1911, it uses a barrel bushing. Now on the Yugos, rotate it 180 degrees, pull it off, make sure that your barrel link is flipped forward, and out comes the barrel. Now an interesting thing about these pistols, or most of the Tokarevs, is you'll notice that the locking lugs are cut all the way around the barrel instead of just being halfway or just a little bit of a way around. It's because this was a simpler way to manufacture the pistol. It was just easier for them to go in with a parting tool, turn this one, or turn it all the way around than it was to contour like they are on a 1911. Now another interesting part about these pistols are their fire control mechanism pops right out. This right here is everything: your hammer spring, and your ejector and your disconnect. Now, if you look down here into the frame, you'll see that all that's left is basically the trigger mechanism and a big leaf spring that acts as your trigger return spring. Alright, now to take the grips off on the right hand side grip, kind of see right in there, there's a little toggle. And what you'll want to do is you get a punch or a screwdriver and try and basically flip that toggle off to the other side, and then your grip should just fall off. You can see here, here's the locking mechanism for the grips. Now on the left. Now with this particular model with the 1911 style safety, this will just fall out. All this is a little piece of sheet metal, a spring, and part of a dowel pin that they drilled in or welded into it. Now you can see here there's a magazine disconnect and then the hole for the safety. You can also see right down here is another toggle for removing that grip. So once that's knocked from the frame, you should just be able to knock out your grip panel. Now to remove the trigger, what you want to do is, you can see here's that leaf spring. Basically just push back on that leaf spring, and then it's a little easier to go from the top. Push down on that leaf spring, and then the trigger bar will just naturally pivot down. Should be able to push it down, and out it comes. Here's your trigger. There's where your magazine safety or disconnect is. And then there's just this leaf spring. Magazine release comes out the same way as any other. Just turn this part way, get it out, but it's kind of a pain for me to get back in, so there you have it. Disassembly of a Yugoslavian M57 pistol. Alright, now that we've taken it apart, let's put it back together again. We'll start by putting the trigger back into the frame. And you want to come in from the mag well. And just remember, the larger part of the trigger is at the bottom, the shorter part of the trigger is up the top. Basically, just want to line it up with the slot in the frame, push it in until it clicks, goes in. It's that simple. Then we'll put the grips back on. Basically just push the grip, get this toggle, flip back over. We'll put our government required safety back there. Make sure that safety seats, otherwise your grip panel isn't going to seat. And then we're just going to flip this toggle back over. Alright. Then our fire control mechanism just slips in right where those two cuts in the guide rail are. Barrel we'll put back in the slide. Make sure that your toggle link is forward. Push that back, push the toggle back, take your bushing, rotate it 180. Put your recoil spring guide rod back in. Remember, this cutout part goes back in towards the barrel. Just push that in like that. Now sometimes it'll make sure that your fire control mechanism is seated. Cock the hammer. Now you'll have to, there we go. Sometimes you'll have to work the slide just a little bit to get the toggle link to line back up. Push in your retaining plate, and then there you go, reassembled. Thanks for watching.